Hey, what's happening, all you heroes out there? I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, and I'm coming at you again with Super Dragon Ball Heroes. It's the 7th episode of the Big Bang Mission and the 27th episode overall of Super Dragon Ball Heroes, and this one is titled Rampaging Terror, The Return of Evil Aura, which has been a big thing about on the bad guys side. We have this evil aura. I'm empowered by the evil aura. The power of evil compels you, and it makes sense. For those of you who don't know, Fu is the child of Mira and Toa, and that's the thing about a lot of the Dragon Ball games. Mira has been the deciding factor in a lot of this, as she is the no, not Mira, Toa. Toa is the deciding factor, as she is the sister of Deborah, and ever since Dragon Ball Online, she has been basically rewriting history where she can, and just creating all these experiments. She created the team of Time Breakers. She's behind all of these events. She created Mira using cells from Saiyans, because, Saiyans, of course it has to be Saiyans, but if you want ultimate power, you might as well be empowered by Saiyan genealogy. But, then she hooked up with Mirror and had her son Fu, who is behind a lot of the events going on here. Like, that's the thing. Dragon Ball Online, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, everything going on in Dragon Ball Heroes. All of that is all a result of the machinations of Toa. And from the beginning, there's always been this thing called the evil aura, this evil power that Toa would always try to instill in these beings. But let's jump into the episode proper, as all of our heroes are transported by Poutine, who used to be an ally to, actually not, Demigra, who originally wanted Cronoa, the Supreme Kai of Time's job. And then you have Salsa, who followed under Michikabura, who was the demonic god of the underworld who used to rule before Deborah. And I was always under the impression that Michikabura was like Toa's dad or something, like the father of Toa and Deborah, but I never got confirmation for that. But so these two former enemies, transport all of them to the universe tree. And once they get there, Vegeta's just like, okay, now I'm going to destroy it, and launches a massive attack. Only for it to be destroyed and absorbed by the tree, because it's just like, it absorbs energy. Of course, it just saw Vegeta's attack as a nice, tasty snack. It's just like, that's very filling. I could go back for seconds though. And even Few shows up and it's just like, thanks for watering my plant, dude. But it's just like, I'm so glad you're here. We can all see the destruction of the universe and the creation of a new one. It'll be so interesting. And that's the thing about Fu. Despite the fact that he is Toa's child, the thing about him is he's just curious. He just wants to see what'll happen. It's just like, oh, I just want to see what'll happen if I destroy the universe and create a new one. And that's kind of been the most interesting thing about him. It's just that he does all these chaotic things with the only reasoning behind it is just, I wanted to see what would happen. What'll happen if I give you this power? What'll happen if I do this? What'll happen if I do that? What'll happen if I destroy this timeline? Like, he takes all of the evil machination of Toa and he turns them into something worse because there's no real reasoning behind any of it. But suddenly, a lot of the Zeno characters, namely Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, and Pan, are all teleported away. And as it turns out, it was Toa. She's the one who did this. And she says, oh, yeah, leave them to me. I'll handle them for you, Fu, sweetie. Who uh, th- the way they address each other, you wouldn't think they're mother and son. And I'm questioning if Fu even knows that that's his mother, because it doesn't feel like it. And she even gives Poutine and Salsa this weird look, and they all three of them just bounce. They teleport away, and it's a very perplexing moment. Like, okay, so it has to be that Poutine and Salsa were working for Toa, but to what end? Why does it seem like Toa is playing the role of a double agent almost? I'm very curious. And even Fu's just kind of questioning what Toa is up to, because it's very sus. It's super suspect. But he doesn't have too much time to think about this as Vegeta goes on the offensive. But Fu has a lot of power, and he's able to stop Vegeta dead, and even unleashes Cumber's power somehow. Yes, somehow Fu is siphoning away Cumber's evil energy that makes him a chaotic berserker and infuses it into Vegeta as well as Goku, who had already gotten a taste of this before, and sends him on a rampage. And they actually don't end up fighting each other, but they still go after Fu nonetheless. And Fu's just like, oh, okay, that's interesting, so that's what happened. And then he just hits them with a powerful attack and knocks them out of the form. And it's just like, okay, so it just takes a nice hard wallop to get you out of that state. Fascinating. So that's what I'm talking about. This guy just does shit for the sake of seeing what'll happen. That's his only interest here. And then he turns his attention back to the universe tree. It's just like, ooh, it's almost gonna happen. I'm gonna get that new universe. It's gonna be so cool to see how it goes down, and realizing that they can't overcome the power of Cumber without going berserk again, which is an interesting dilemma. It just doesn't defeat them, it just sends them into a mindless state, so they're not really using any of that training that they have. They're not going in with a plan or technique, they're just swinging wildly like a mindless animal. So, as for some reason, Salsa gave Goku some Potara earrings, which, it just kind of feels like everyone just has a set of Potara earrings in their back pocket for a rainy day or something. It's just like everyone just has a Potara for some reason. And so, we get the usual gripe of Vegeta being like, I'll use it for now, but this is the last time. No, it's not. As long as you exist, you'll use the Potara sometime later on in the future. So they become Vegito. Fu's not interested because he's just like, I already saw the fusion trick, lame. Let's inject a little dark aura into it and see what happens. But Vegito activates a barrier and as well as turning blue in order to, power up so we can go after Fu and ward off the evil energy, keeping his mind intact. And they face off. There he goes. Who will win? And that's the thing about this is that if Fu actually manages to hold his own against Vegito, Fu will, by all technical means, be one of the most powerful characters in the series, because whenever Vegeta or even Gogeta go head to head with a character, it is a mollywop. It's a baby shake. They wipe the floor with that character. They are just playing around to a certain degree, and it's very, very rare that fusions, well, specifically the fusion of Goku and Vegeta in any way, shape, or form, are ever really challenged by anyone. So it'll be interesting to see what the staff decides to do with this. The art in this episode was actually pretty decent. Not phenomenal and just out there, we didn't get too much, but it was okay. It wasn't the worst animations I've ever seen in this series, and this series has given some of the worst. But characters were on model for the most part. A few wonky scenes here and there, but pretty decent altogether. Not the worst, not the best, but that's Dragon Ball Heroes in a nutshell. But I'm interested to see where this goes and to find out what exactly Toa is up to, because I feel there's something deeper going on with her, but this is Dragon Ball Heroes. They always have a great concept, but they never stick the landing. Or even really do that well in the air either. But we'll see how it goes. Tell me your thoughts and theories in the comment section below. If you liked this video, leave me a like. If you didn't, feel free to leave me a dislike. Subscribe and hit the bell icon. That way you never miss out on another Super Dragon Ball Heroes episode review. And until then, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.